Well, hello internets, here we are. Well, as we're in the final stretch of 2021, I find myself kind of reflecting on the past year. Reflecting on a few of the things that, we've gone through, I've gone through. Some of the bad times, some of the good times, some of the victories, some of the losses. And I'll share some of my thoughts with you. And yeah, welcome to our vlog. So here we go. Well, one of my biggest victories that I've had this year is I have very, very nearly dug myself out of debt. I have a little bit left to take care of here, and then I will be officially debt-free for the first time in many, many years. At one time I was debt-free. At one time I owned everything that I had my hands on. And it seemed to be when life got complicated, that's when life got expensive. When I started pursuing a path in my life that wasn't me, that's when things got messy. That's when things got complicated. I went from having a tent that was paid for, a rusty truck that was paid for, renting an apartment, just me and my cat, to all of a sudden financing a vehicle, in a relationship, buying a house, financing new vehicles, ending up overextended in debt, and all that wonderful chaotic and confusion that goes along with all that. I know I've been through some things in the last few years, going as far back, well, however far back you want to go. But it all began pretty much around then, and just spiraled from there. You try to dig your way out of things, and sometimes it's like spinning your wheels in mud. Sometimes you get stuck, sometimes it's almost impossible to get out, sometimes things are quite expensive or costly to break free of. But once you can break free of them, then things can get better as you go. One of the things I've noticed in probably the last 4 to 6 months is the bloodsuckers have quit trying to suck blood from me. They have stopped for now. Hopefully they have moved on to bigger and better targets. I have tried to remediate and take care of things that were going on there, and after a while I think they kind of realized that the few $100s or whatever they were trying to get out of you in the end really wasn't worth it, because they pretty much got everything else that I ever owned, and anything that I have currently now is not worth anything at all, or it belongs to somebody else, because, well, when you've had the rug pulled out from under you, you really can't finance a bucket to pee in, kind of a thing, right? It's kind of is the way it is, right? We sometimes we're the nail and sometimes we're the hammer, but quite often we're the nail and we get the short end, right? I'm continuing, of course, to survive. I've kind of hid away for the last couple of years, kind of hid away and did my own thing. I've tried the online thing a few times and always been disappointed or scammed or attempted to be scammed by these people that are out there, and as a result I've kind of withdrawn. And I know lately I've tried the online thing again, but it's kind of looking to be very much the same. I know I'm drawing from a so-called pond that is virtually a mud puddle in the middle of nowhere that doesn't really have many people to draw from, but at the same time there's got to be somebody out there that's half normal, right? So as a result I've kind of been doing my own thing, kind of been looking forward to the next camping season next year, when winter's over with in about another 4 months. get back out there, and even if it's just short little trips, little overnights, hook onto the trailer and disappear for a weekend. Don't have to do anything extravagant, go anywhere far, anywhere big. There's a campground that I used to stay at 20 years ago that I could go back to, and with my generator and the setup that I have, still with the ability so far of borrowing the truck and the trailer, I can get away for a bit and do some camping. Like I mentioned there before, living the solo life, living by myself, living on my own, not collecting friends that aren't there for you when you need them, but yet get all angry when you're not there from them, but yet they're never there when you need them either. So I just assume cut the drama out and just only count on me, because that I'll always be there when I need myself. Letting go of toxic people in my life, I hung on to the hope of a few things happening, because in the past they always did happen in a cycle. And I know those cycles repeated themselves, and I know they weren't good, and I know the last time the cycle repeated itself, it was bad. But for me, I don't know why this time around I thought it would be better. So I held out for the customary, it's been well over 2 years, thinking that the cycle would repeat itself, and for some odd reason this time around it didn't. And it probably, if it would have had the opportunity to have, it probably would have welcomed it back. I probably would have took it all in. I probably would have repeated the cycle again, moved the person into my little one-bedroom perfect apartment, and brought that chaos and confusion back in my life, just because, it was better off than being alone, right? Sometimes being alone, though, is better off than inviting chaos and confusion. When you leave your apartment, it's going to be virtually exactly the same as it was when you left it, as it is when you come back home, with variations on what the cat does when you're gone, or the dog, or whatever, right? But most of the time there's no more dirty dishes in the sink as what there was when you left. Most of the time you don't come home, find somebody else in your bed that's not supposed to be there. Most of the time you don't come home and find footprints where there's not supposed to be footprints. Things like that, right? And when you come to the realization that sometimes in our lives we get to a point where it may be better off to be alone, because every bad experience or rough experience you've had may have tainted you for future experiences. And if you don't deal with your past and deal with your unpleasant experiences, they can affect your future. And I've done my best to deal with my past. I've done my best to deal with those unpleasant experiences. However, those sore points, those times where I was hurt, they do still pop up. And you do see warning signs, you do see red flags, and sometimes you wonder if those warning signs are actually there. Sometimes you wonder if those red flags are actually there, or if it's just something you're seeing because you've always seen them and it kind of seems to be normal to you. So I've decided, if this online attempt fails, then I'm going to completely 110% focus on just myself. And as for finding a girlfriend, she's going to have to virtually fall through the sunroof of my truck, preferably when it's open, before I'll even take that as a sign that she may or may not be the one to spend some time with, right? Sometimes pursuing things, sometimes forcing things to happen, or sometimes making things happen is not the right path. sometimes you just have to set back and let things happen the way they need to happen, even if that means living the next 10, 20 years with just yourself and your dog and your cranky old cat. But it is what it is, and around we go. And as always, thanks for watching. Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.